Golden Opportunities is paid for by Elder Productions.
Hello, I'm Lori Steiner. Welcome to Golden Opportunities.
Today, we'll preview a program that helps those with memory issues stay in their home sweet home. Then, will the new tax plan put a wrench in your...
Oh, okay.
Take two.
Golden Opportunities is paid for by Elder Productions.
Hello, I'm Lori Steiner. Welcome to Golden Opportunities.
Today, we'll preview a program that helps those with memory issues stay in their home sweet home. Then, will the new tax plan put a wrench in your retirement income? We'll investigate. Comforting can be complicated. We'll offer options that have hope, heart, and healing. Plus, entertainment, education, empowerment, and engagement. You can find it all in one place. We'll tell you where. And now's the time to secure a successful retirement. We'll tell you what to do.
It's time to get geoing, so pull up a chair and join us at our kitchen table for Golden Opportunities. Your loved one is showing signs of memory loss, and suddenly you're on a long, new road of figuring out the best way to care for them. But you don't have to travel that road alone. Kristen Morelli and John Berkeley have joined us to help provide direction. Kristen is the director of the Montefiore Memory Care Network, and John is a care navigator in the network. So welcome to both of you here to our show.
Thank you, Lori.
Thank you for having us.
So Kristen, you have a program that helps people who are just starting this journey really on this long road that they have to hoe, and it focuses on those still living at home, right?
Correct. What we were really seeing was a lot of people coming into the facility looking for placement for a loved one, and really they could have been staying at home a little bit longer if the family really knew how to navigate the system. There's a lot of available services out there, but it can be very overwhelming for families to know what to do, who to call, what they really need, and just also understanding the disease process. So that's where we come in, and we get on board with them, and we work with them with our team, and we really educate them on the process and what services we can link them up with.
Okay, sounds like a good program so far. So John, you're a social worker. You actually begin this process with a visit to the older person's home, right?
Yes, correct, Lori. So what we like to do is we like to visit the potential client or the individual that maybe is suffering from a little bit of cognitive impairment, and ultimately determine what their level of cognitive functioning is, and where our team can help. So what we do is we really aim to do this in the most comfortable and unobtrusive way for the individual as well as their family. We want to see them in wherever they call home. So that could be a traditional home, an apartment, assisted living, or even independent living. So it's a two-person team that starts the assessment, a social worker and myself. So our social worker is working one-on-one with the client and doing a battery of cognitive assessments as well as a screen for depression, which, as we know, unfortunately,
big time problem,
goes hand in hand with degenerative brain diseases. So these results can be pretty eye-opening for the family, so it's really important we get an accurate picture of that. So while the social worker is going through the cognitive assessments with the individual, I'm going through the home. I'm looking for any safety concerns from a dementia-specific perspective. Also, I'm doing a nutrition screen, so making sure they have enough food in the home, making sure they have procedures in place to keep food in the home, and also that the food they're providing is appropriate for those with dementia and easy for them to make themselves if they can do that. I'm also talking with the caregiver, the primary caregiver, to make sure that they have the correct clinical and professional services in place. So for instance, making sure they have one primary care doctor, using only one pharmacy, also speaking with, making sure they're speaking with legal professionals and financial professionals to make sure they have durable power of attorney for healthcare and finance, living will, that sort of thing. So really we want to get an accurate picture of the entire situation to determine exactly how we can help.
Okay, well, that's a lot of information. What do you do with all that information?
It's quite a bit of information. So what we do is we put together what's called a plan of care. And this is a simple document, easy to read, easy to understand, that will give you our recommendations and our findings in terms of everything I mentioned previously: cognition, nutrition, etc. And then we address our top concerns with the family so that we can focus on providing that for the individual.
Okay, and so Kristen, this is where those resources and services you talked about come into play. So
Absolutely.
how do you connect everything together?
So we've been very fortunate. We've been doing the program now for a couple years, and we've really developed a very good group of resources in the community that we partner with. So it just really is very individualized and person specific. What one person needs, the next person is going to need maybe 10 different things. You know, so we work with the different organizations, different companies, and we'll provide, if it's issues with feeding at home and meals, we'll get them set up with different meal delivery services. Sometimes it's really just need that socialization aspect and they don't know where to go. So we go out there and we go to different agencies with the different museums, with different senior centers, and we get them a specialized sort of calendar of programs. We get them transportation to it, whatever they need to stay active. And really what's one important piece of it is a lot of people at this stage do have some private caregiving at home, and not always, unfortunately, are they always trained in sort of the best techniques in working with this population. So either we will train their caregivers in different techniques for working with dementia, or we'll even recommend some of ours that we know have the extra training as well on whatever the family prefers and whatever the actual client is most comfortable with, and we'll set them up with those as well. So it's sort of varies based on the individual need, but we make sure we use the community resources that we've established and partner with.
I wish we had more time to talk about it. It sounds like a great thing to take the load off the loved ones, huh?
Absolutely. I mean, it's wonderful. The loved ones get to go back to being loved ones and not having to plan everything, and caregivers.
Caregivers.
We take care of that part. They get to be a spouse, a daughter, whatever it may be, and go back to that.
Which is great. Whether you're already on the road of caring for a loved one with dementia or you're just starting your journey, there is help to make the trip the best it can be. To learn more about Montefiore's Home Smart program, use the information that's coming up next. My thanks to Kristen and to John for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For more information on Montefiore's Memory Care Network, call 216-910-2323 or visit www.montefiore.org. Next, Trump, taxes, and your retirement. But first, if you pass the buck, you've removed yourself from responsibility. But how did this strategy start? We'll deal with the answer when we return.
I developed a hearing loss, and so I called Jane and said, I'm having problems hearing on the telephone. So sure enough, I needed hearing aids.
My sons, daughters, I kept saying, what places I go, like international trips, I want to be able to hear. There's nothing better than hearing a lion roar, monkeys holler, monkeys screeching in the morning. So that's what I really enjoy, the sounds, the sights.
Call 440-205-8848.
Card players in the past employed an item called a buck, passing it from player to player to identify the dealer. If you didn't want a deal, you'd pass the buck to the next player.
Still pondering Trump's new tax plan? It can be confusing as you continue to peruse it, but Jim Lineweaver is here to help. Jim is a certified financial planner professional with the Lineweaver Financial Group. Welcome back to the show here.
Good to see you.
So here's one example of how it's confusing. Long-term capital gains taxes haven't changed, but in a sense they have changed.
Exactly, yes. What ends up happening is the tax brackets didn't change, but the thresholds have. So what happens is if you look at the different brackets that are there, that means you can actually make a little more money and still possibly stay in the 0% capital gains rate. So it's hard for your viewers to see, but if we look at the married filing jointly, what ends up happening is they can stay in the 0 bracket all the way up to that $77,200 threshold. So this is a great opportunity for people to really look at their capital gains that they may have on non-qualified or non-IRA assets. If they want to do some diversification, what they can do is, you have to add up all your other income and then what you're going to sell and what these gains are. And if you can stay under that $77,200, guess what? You pay no income tax, which is huge. And even if you had a little bit that went over, it's only a little bit of the overage that gets taxed at the 15%, not the whole thing jumping in. But people forget when they sell, oh, I could sell $77,000 of capital gains. No, you can't, because you have to add all that other income
Everything
in.
else.
But this is very important. So what we do for our clients is we actually have, with our accountant that's on staff, we'll actually do projections for people to see if they can stay in that threshold, be able to diversify their portfolio more, and take advantage of that zero capital gain rate.
All right, that's interesting. Another no change and different is investment property.
Yeah. Well, what ends up happening is there's two things here. One is it's what's called a 1031 exchange. So if I have a piece of real estate and I want to go buy a new one, and maybe I've depreciated this down because it's a rental property, I could exchange one for the other, not pay any taxes, and then maybe get some new depreciation stuff off that new property. However, what they took away is like the non-real property assets. So with that private jet that you own, what ends up happening is when you go to trade up and get your new one, you won't be able to take that depreciation from what you wrote out through your business for your business travel, because I know you don't use it for anything personal. But for the business travel, then what ends up happening is you can't roll that into another one anymore. So people that have trucking companies, maybe manufacturing equipment, they're losing that 1031 ability, whereas it still applies to real assets or real estate.
Okay, you talked about depreciation tables too. Have that changed?
Yeah, so what ends up happening is if you have on the rental property side, if you have a business out of it, then really that's not changed. But what they did say is that if you have more than 30% of your earnings before interest, depreciation, taxation, if that is due to interest expense, you want to opt out of this, what's called an interest disallowance. And that means even if it goes over that 30%, you can still write it off. And when you do that, all it does is it stretches out your tables a little bit. So therefore, if you have a commercial property, what ends up happening is it just jumps from a 39.6 to a 40-year duration, no big deal. If it is more of like a individual property or residential real estate, it goes from 27 to 30, no big deal. Okay. Still get the deductions.
Still a lot of things to figure out, and you've got help, right?
We do, because there's a lot more that we'd love to share with your viewers. So we have a seminar upcoming here at the Prestwick Country Club on how to help preserve and grow your wealth under the new tax laws. And it's going to be Thursday, April 19th, and also Tuesday, April 24th at 5:30 p.m.
All right, sounds good. To understand how the new tax plan will affect you and your investments, attend Jim's seminar or give him a call. The number's next.
To find out more, call the Lineweaver Financial Group at 1-888-313-4009 or log on to www.lineweaver.net. Next, a how-to on helping. Looking for places to go, things to do? Welcome to our community calendar. Ride the rails as you taste some ales. The Cuyahoga Valley Scenic Railroad has brewed up a tasting of a bevy of beers while you travel on the train. Each ale will be accompanied by an appropriate appetizer. To pour over the details or to purchase tickets, call 800-468-4070 or log on to www.cvsr.com.
Close friends or family suffer a loss, and you're at a loss as to what to do or say. But Sherry Dunleavy says you must say and do something, and she can help you figure out what that is. Sherry has gathered advice for all kinds of grief in her book, How Can I Help? Your go-to guide for helping loved ones through life's difficulties. So welcome to the show.
Well, thank you very much.
Big problem. And you learned the hard way that people don't always know what to say or what to do, right? When you lost a son.
Yes, back in 1999, my husband and I lost our son Brandon after he lived only 29 days. And now, make no point about it, we had so many people that loved us and helped us through that time, but there were some people who were very significant in our life who we just looked up and they weren't there for us. And through the years, I just kept trying to figure this out. What was it? And I really think it's boiled down to three things. The first thing is that it might have been too close. You know, losing a child is scary. Mm-hmm. And if you have children, that's your worst nightmare. So it might have just been too frightening. If it could happen to them, possibly could happen to us.
Sure.
The other thing is that I think maybe it was, if I say something, it's going to make them cry, and I don't want to make them cry. But you're grieving the loss of someone you loved. You're going to cry. Tears are going to come. And the third thing is that you desperately want to do or say something, but you just don't know what to do or say.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it all boils down to.
So what should they have done?
Well, I think that the first thing you should do is just show up. And if you don't know what to say, it's perfectly fine to say, I don't know what to say, but you know what? I love you, and I just want to be here with you if you need me. You know, that's a wonderful thing that you can do. And another thing, I would like to say, it's not the wrong thing to say, but I have said it, and I know so many people have, and they've said it with the best intentions. If there's anything I can do, please let me know, right? Have you said that? I know I have.
Of course.
But here's the problem with that. You don't even know what day of the week it is. You don't even know what you need. And so I think that a better way to phrase that is to say, if there's anything that I can do, like get you some groceries or bring you over a meal or mow your lawn or watch the kids for a couple of hours, something that you're willing to do that you might think that could be helpful to them. That might be a great thing to do. Offer choices.
Something specific.
Yes.
So that they don't have to think about it because they can't figure that all out.
Exactly.
And a lot of the suggestions in your book came from you and what you went through. Also, you went on Facebook and asked for additional guidance from others. So what were some of these suggestions that you found out about, either through your own grief process or through others that helped you?
Right. I had so many people that offered to help me. And this isn't just about grief. It's about any kind of loss, divorce, loss of health, the loss of someone that you love. But one lady, for example, she said she brought over a breakfast basket. A lot of people think about dinners, but they don't think about breakfast. Another suggestion that someone had was, you know, a lot of times people have to travel, and especially like to Cleveland Clinic is one of the destinations that people travel to from all areas. Gas cards are very helpful. Hotel points, very helpful to people. So those are some of the things that I think that really can help other people in this journey.
All right. Specific and useful for those folks.
Yes.
Thank you. You want to provide comfort and support when someone you care about is dealing with a loss. And now, thanks to Sherry's book, you have helped to do just that. To learn more about Sherry and her book, How Can I Help?, use the information that's coming up next. My thanks to Sherry for joining us today.
Thank you.
To learn more or to order the book, How Can I Help?, click to www.sherrydunlevy.com. Up next, read all about it. It's time to get up and go, an exercise segment on golden opportunities.
Hello everybody, it's Mike Carbon from Breakout Fitness, and we're here today to show you how to do a oblique twist, which is going to help us with our obliques, more importantly that love handle area. You ready to go?
I got to get rid of these little
All right, we can do it. Here we go. We're going to start seated. We want our legs bent at about a 45-degree angle and your feet flat on the floor as much as they can be. Make sure we maintain good posture. We're simply going to overlap our hands here, and we're going to try to touch the ground to the left. And then we're going to bring them across and try to touch the ground to the right, okay? We're looking for 12 to 15 repetitions on this one. And remember, the movement's actually going to be in the core, in the trunk, and not in the shoulders. How you feeling?
Oh, I can feel those love handles leaving
Good.
now.
All right, real quick, you can add a little bit of resistance on this one to make it a little more challenging. Just go ahead, grab your weights at home, and perform the exact same exercise with the exact same movement. All right, 12 to 15, 2 to 3 sets. And now it's your turn to get up and go.
For your copy of the exercise booklet, send $1 for postage to Golden Opportunities, 6105 Parkland Boulevard, Suite 140, Mayfield Heights, Ohio, 44124.
One of the biggest issues facing older adults is social connection and engagement. Can a magazine help keep you connected? Carolyn Lookabill says yes, and she's here to show us how. Carolyn is the brand manager. Oh, this way. The brand manager for American Senior Magazine, published in Cleveland. And she's here to talk about that, so welcome to the show.
Thank you, Laura.
How big of a problem is this social connection and isolation for seniors?
Well, you know, everyone has a need to belong. That's an innate need in all of us. So we belong to our families, we belong to our friends, our community, and that doesn't change as we get older. But one of the things that does happen is that because of the life changes, it's estimated now with research that up to a half of all seniors may be having that sense of loneliness and isolation.
Yeah, that's a shame. So how can a magazine help overcome some of those issues?
Well, American Senior Magazine is designed to promote a positive sense of aging, and all those levels of engagement help us to be connected with one another.
So what is it that is each of these issues that help bring that connection out and learn new things and get involved in things like that for our viewers?
Well, each issue is focused on what we call the 4 E's, so entertainment, education, engagement, and empowerment. And all of our articles are focused on that. Our cover article features a prominent senior that everyone can relate to. And the stories that relate to that person's life draw out the things that we may have in common with one another. Reading those stories help us to have opportunities for conversation and reminiscence, all of those particular areas. And we believe that programming in general is helpful. We've offered now programming for senior living communities, and it guarantees at least 15 activity programs from every single issue that we have.
So there's a lot of activity things going on. And
Absolutely.
you mentioned memory and remembering things. You have a section called Remember When.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, caregivers love this particular section, as well as seniors of all ages. It's a great engagement tool for seniors to get involved with young children. Remember When is a section that focuses on the pop culture of the last 7 or 8 decades. And so it highlights key moments that we all can relate to. And from that, again, it's a conversation starter, and it also sparks the opportunity for reminiscence, and it's just fun. Mm-hmm. It's fun.
So there are some things in here too that the readers of the magazine might find as kind of surprising. So I have one page here I'm going to open up. So tell us about one of the things that is in this magazine every time.
Well, absolutely. Every issue we have a health and wellness focus, and we have articles on nutrition, yoga, gardening, and how they all impact our life. But these games and brain teasers are developed to help promote positive cognitive awareness and brain fitness. And they're fun for everybody.
And it seems to be much more studies now about brain fitness like this.
Absolutely.
And then this is even more surprising, I would say.
Well, highlights in that section is actually probably the most surprising for seniors. And we've introduced highlights into our issues because 1 out of every 5 people over 60 today is raising a grandchild. Not just has a grandchild, but raising a grandchild. So this particular content allows seniors to have information that they can share with grandkids.
All right, and together they can read the magazine.
That's right. Works for all.
There's so much packed in this. It's a big magazine. It's got big content, and you've got something for our viewers with regard to getting the magazine, correct?
Absolutely. Our normal subscription price is $19.99, but for our Golden Opportunities viewers today, we're offering a special promotion of $14.99, and all they have to do is use the code GO for Golden Opportunities if they call or if they would subscribe online.
All right. Thanks for bringing in this fantastic magazine for us all to see.
Thank you.
American Senior Magazine is big in size, in scope, and it's in its mission to keep seniors entertained, educated, informed, and involved. And now they've given you, our Golden Opportunities viewers, a big way to save on a subscription. Just use the code GO when ordering. My thanks to Carolyn Lookabill for joining us today.
Thank you, Laura.
Find out more by calling American Senior Magazine at 888-792-3212 or visit their website, www.americanseniormagazine.com. Next, how about now?
I'm Dr. Stephanie Christian of Timeless Laser and Skincare. We help men and women achieve healthy, radiant skin at any age. Because when you feel good about how you look, it changes everything.
The all-new TrueSculpt 3D is a revolutionary non-invasive body sculpting technology that diminishes fat. We can now offer our patients impressive results and comfort throughout the procedure. Get the look you want with TrueSculpt 3D.
Visit us in Westlake or at timelesslaserskin.com.
You're getting ready to retire. What kinds of things should you do to plan ahead? Here to discuss 3 factors to consider is my never-gonna-retire law partner, Michael Solomons.
All right.
Many retirees out there take retirement as an opportunity to move to a warmer climate, like to Florida, to get away from Ohio's winters. Besides good weather, what else should people look for?
Well, I think there are 3 things people should look at. Taxes, the amenities of wherever you're going to move to, and finally, just family issues. So let me talk about taxes first, because everyone's always interested in that. So, you should look at the income tax rate of wherever you're moving, whatever state you're going to be in, the property tax rates and the sales tax rates, because it's different in each state. For example, Florida, where a lot of people move, and Ohio both do not tax Social Security income. So let's say that's what you're living on. Both states have sales tax, and different counties have different rates. So Florida, depending on where you're living, can have a higher sales tax rate than Ohio. So you need to look at all of these issues and see how it impacts you. Kiplinger's has a good magazine on this whole issue, covers all 50 states in the District of Columbia to tell you, so you can look at it and figure it out.
Okay, second point is amenities. What do you mean by that?
Okay, I'm talking about 3 things. Number 1, housing and the cost of living. So for example, again, people like to move to warmer climates. They may be a much higher cost of living. For example, Hawaii, a great place to live, beautiful, very expensive to live there. For example, Honolulu, according to the Wall Street cheat sheet, Honolulu is the most expensive city to live in the United States, where that same magazine says Sandusky, Ohio is one of the cheapest places to live. So you want to look into that and just see, what the cost of living there in that state. The second issue is also very important. That's medical treatment. We're kind of spoiled here in Cleveland. Cleveland has one of the best medical communities in the nation. If you move to another place, you're going to you're a little bit spoiled here. You may be surprised what you get in another place. So since as we get older, medical treatment is more and more important. You ought to check that out before you pick a particular location. Okay. So that's always important. Then finally, the amenities, just the things to make living good. Cleveland, and again, I'm sounding like a homer here, but and TripAdvisor has listed Cleveland in the top 14 liveliest theater districts. So you ought to check wherever you're going to see what they have, if that's
you got something to do every day when you're there, when you're retired. The third factor you mentioned was family and friends.
Right. So if your family and your friends are still in the area, in Cleveland area, do you really want to pick up and move to an entirely new place and start the whole process over again?
Well, Mike, I suppose that depends on your family.
That's right.
Anyway, that's a lot to think about. Certainly, if you're approaching retirement, you should start researching these issues so you can make good decisions. You don't want to incur the cost of moving and then change your mind and have to move again. For help with these considerations and some crunching of the numbers, give Mike a call.
Call Solomon, Steiner, and Peck at 1-888-236-5173 for more information or to schedule a speaker for your organization. Or log on to www.ssnplaw.com.
Thanks for joining us. On next week's show, we'll celebrate all things spring. Plus, are you taxing your teeth? We'll offer ways to treat your teeth if they've taken a toll. And we'll offer answers to questions that only come with aging. But until then, please remember to make the most of your golden opportunities.
If you'd like to join our kitchen conversation, visit our website, www.goldenopportunities.tv. Like us on Facebook. Call us at 440-742-GO-TV or email us at kitchen@goldenopportunities.tv. We'd love to hear from you.
Golden Opportunities is paid for by Elder Productions.